picking up back in 1995, man. All right, this how I caught my case, right? So I was what? I was 19. You know what I mean? I was living that life. You know what I mean? I had I think one kid at the time. No. Matter of fact, my oldest son was just born, and so I ain't really know what was going on with kids and shit. You know what I mean? I'm trying to keep it real with my baby mama and be there and raise my kids, but I'm so tied up in the streets and all the other stuff that comes with it. You know what I mean? Let me say hi to my son, y'all. Little Miles. He back there, dead, half dead to the world. So my dude, man, you know what I mean? He started coming through with the snowmans. You know what I mean? The blocks of them. You know what I mean? Big boys. You know what I mean? So I ain't never really had no money, so it was all new to me. So now I'm making like $1,500 and $2,000 profit a week. You know what I mean? That's good for running like a few years. I've been out of trouble since I was like 17, so I've been running for like a few years like that. You know what I mean? Now I'm kind of turning into the plug where I'm selling weight. You know what I mean? At the time, I think I'm selling like ounces for like $750. You know what I mean? $750 harder weight, like, you know what I mean? So everything was going good, right? But then my dude, the plug, he brought for some reason I knew it was something crazy, man, because he brought me way more this time. Like instead of like 1 square or like 1.5 square, he brought me like 4 or 5 squares, and I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm still new to this. I don't even know, like at that point I'm still green to the game. I'd have been in the game, but I don't really even know how to whip. So I don't know how to just look at something and tell if it's A1. So, you know what I mean? So he finessed me for real. The 4 or 5 joints, bro, probably was just one joint mixed up and turned into 4 or 5 joints. So, you know what I mean? I was getting kind of thirsty to sell the shit. I really didn't want to give it back because I you know what I mean? I had already counted the money in my head. So I got kind of thirsty, man. I started selling it anywhere I could because like the normal people that I was dealing with, they wasn't feeling it, and they was hip to it, and they was like, oh, no, if you still doing that, no, we cool. So, my ass got kind of thirsty and started selling to people that I wouldn't really sell to, wouldn't really pay attention, because before that, I really couldn't keep enough shit to even goddamn do nothing with anybody else other than the people I usually deal with. You know what I mean? So, make that story short, man. My next door neighbor, this guy, man, he older guy, you know what I mean? He probably was in his 50s or something, man. Old Chuck or something like that, right? So he was my next door neighbor, you know what I mean? I used to serve him, you know what I mean? So he say he got a partner that's trying to get down, like, you know what I mean? And then he tell me it's a woman, you know what I mean? Her name was Goldie, boy. I never forget her name. Goldie lit my life up, boy. So he said she be copping heavy, this, that, and other. So when Goldie came through, I think I sold her like a quarter harder way. You know what I mean? But I called myself busting her, and she still went. You know what I mean? You remember she was going for $750. You know what I mean? But that was for the whole joints. So she had wanted a quarter, so I charged her $250. So that was a band. You know what I mean? She still went, and she told me that she really don't buy little stuff like that. That she just wanted to test it out. And with me being naive, man, I should have knew that stuff was trash. And if she came back for it, that was my ass. Well, she definitely came back for it, man. Like, but y'all gotta know, like, I used to be out with the licks, with the fiends. Like, I'd be up all night with them, hanging with them like I'm a lick. You know what I mean? But I'm serving them right there. They don't have to go nowhere. They don't have to call nobody. I'm right there with them. 3, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. You know what I mean? So like, it's like a few like key family members was like using drugs at the time, so we'll get to that. You know what I mean? It was somebody that's real close to me that ended up turning into the boss. You feel me? But that's how it go. It's one day you up, one day you down. So I'm out there getting it like. And so when she came back, me being naive ain't really tripping that she came back for some bullshit. Like, why the heck is she coming back for this? And I really didn't think, man. I should have thought, though, man. But at the time, though, I wasn't getting up. I don't get up until 5, 6 in the afternoon. Then I come out and be up all night. So, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and do that. Yeah, I'll be in a second. And, so every time, like when I got up for like the next couple weeks, I kept on seeing her number on there. But then when I wake up and call her back, she say it's always dead. No, it's dead now. We missed it. My peoples had to go to work and this, that, and other. All kinds of shoo and boo boo. Right? But I went for it. You know, I'm 19, fresh to the game. Man. So one day, man, this is why I still hate getting up early, y'all. One day, man, I went to sleep early, and because I went and worked out, and it was snowing real bad. It was a snowstorm. And I was up there in my apartment alone, man. I ended up waking up early, probably about like 5, 6 in the morning. So I was like, man, I'm gonna just start getting up early. Sure. So this was the first day I was up early enough for her to call and get me. So now she called and get me. She set it up, talking about she want 2 ounces. Like, remember, she just jumped from a quarter old to 2 ounces. But she also told me when we first started jigging that she do buy weight like that, but she just was trying to see how it was. But me being should have thought like, well, you should know that was bull. So why are you back? Well, anyway, so I ain't think about that until later. So she called me and we set it up or whatever. You know what I mean? We supposed to meet at really she wanted to meet me like by my mom's house, like, but my mom stayed like the third one from the corner, and they didn't know because I used to always go in the side of my mom's house like I'm going to her back door, but then I jump over the fence and I go to the house on the corner because I had an apartment upstairs and the house on the corner. It was one house in between me and my mom's, and then it was my apartment, and my apartment was all the way up on the 3rd floor, so they thought I stayed with mom's. So in my apartment, it was sitting like funny. It was not level upstairs, so my beam didn't work, so it used to always be moving and stuff. So I go up there and try to get it right. Remember, I'm breaking up out of like 4 or 5 birds, guns, everything, all this shit up in there, so I weigh as best I can. It's moving crazy, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be like 48 or whatever. So, you know what I mean? I jump in my car, and I swing back around the corner, go up to McDonald's, boom. So when I jump in the car with him, right, I jump in the car, and the guy that's supposed to be in her ride end up start talking about the drugs. Like, remember, he was just supposed to be the ride. I should have peeped it. Oh God! But so he's holding the dope in his hand with the scale in his hand, and act like he was trying to weigh the drugs, like he was holding it up in the air, like for him to see on the camera or whatever. My doofus ass in the back seat, like, so. He like, man, this only weigh like 40 G's. Like, I'm like, man, well, I'm gonna get it right for you because I need that number. I can't. Hold on. I need that number. I can't weaver from that number. So, you know what I mean? I had to have that number. I couldn't knock nothing off because I still owe for that. So when I go to the house, I don't know that they follow me to the house. So when I get to the house, I go through the middle of my mom's house. Remember, they think I'm going to her house. Well, I go up through the back door, go up there, and I just look at something odd and look like about 8 grams and throw it in the bag. Get back up there, and I jump in the car, and I give her the drugs. She give it to him again, and then he starts saying, well, this looks like some good shit. And I had a funny feeling. As soon as I had that funny feeling, I looked over there. I see people jumping out of cars and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, man, what is going on? I was like, man, I can't believe I just got set up. I said, it can't be. This ain't the movies. This shit don't really happen in real life. But at the time, they had just came out with this agency called ReNu, Regional Narcotics enforcement unit. Like they was like almost the feds, but they was city cops, but they was like damn near feds. Like, man, and they can go anywhere. They can go state to state or whatever. I don't know what kind of power they had, but so I something tell me to jump out the car, and I got a big ass bubble coat, leather bubble coat, stick out real. It's like probably 40 or 50 pounds of weight. So I jump out the car. They so close on me, I feel hands grabbing my jacket. So they tore the coat. You know what I mean? I spin off of them. I get to the street, and then cars coming. It's a one way. It's like 4 rows of cars. I jump over the first car. I land on the second car. Flip onto the windshield, bust the windshield, flip over to the next car, almost get ran over by the 4th car. Jump up, get to running again, bleeding like hell, throwing shit, dropping shit, running in the snow. Remember, it's a snowstorm. I'm hopping in the snow. It's police, undercovers coming from everywhere, chasing me, slipping, sliding, falling, punching me, tripping me. One bit me on my finger, all kinds of shit, man. So when I finally got finished running, like probably down by this park called like Eden Park, it was probably like a mile away, man. I'd have ran that far in the snow, sweating, about to die, about to have an asthma attack. Remember, I had just got finished playing high school football, so I still was in shape real good. Like, man, when they finally caught me, man, they beat my ass so bad. A lady walking across the parking lot was like, "Oh my God, call the police." I said, "Ma'am, you have to call somebody else. This is the police." So, oh my God. So they beat me to a stool, took me to the hospital, and then took me down to 800 Broadway. That was like the regional narcotic headquarters, man. They grilled me for a while until they figured out I wasn't telling them nothing. I didn't know nothing. I didn't care. And I didn't really realize what was going on. While they was grilling me, they was getting a search warrant and kicking in my mom's door. But I'm glad they didn't go over there though, right? So they went in my mom's door. I had a couple machine guns. I had like 17,000 in there, and a little bit of nothing, this, that, and other. But at the time, my laws was no matter what you got caught with over a certain amount, it didn't matter. So since I had sold them or attempted to sell them, which was still a trafficking, 2 ounces, it didn't matter if I had up to a half a brick or something, like whatever in there, it was still the same charge. I was just worried about them going up there, but I didn't know nothing. So I didn't even know they was in there. Had my mama and them out on the curb, sitting there on the curb and in the snow, searching the house. Came out with my safe, which had like a little Tech 22, a little 22 caliber machine gun with like 17,000. You know what I mean? And they told when they came out, they're like, "Oh, you going to the feds for tax evasion?" And I'm like, "What?" I'm a kid. I don't know what's going on. But by the time the money came back, it was only like $7,000. So they quickly took $10,000. And then as court went on, you know what I mean, they kept on talking about I'm gonna end up doing like 3 years. And at the time, my years was only 8 months, 14 days. You know, that didn't seem too bad. I've seen, you know, you in the hood, you see guys go to jail, they be gone for a while, then they come back bigger, looking better, you know what I mean? And then the girls be on them, and then they get money again, and you don't know what they went through in there for real, y'all. They went through real live hell, you know what I mean? They so happy to be out on the streets. They looking like they happy to be on the streets, because it's like, bro, you wouldn't send your worst enemy to prison, man. Like some of the places I've been, bro. But we gonna get to that though. So, man, I'm so paranoid, man. I get my car back, man. I think I had bugs all on it and everything, like, but they didn't hit the real house. They hit my mom's house. So I get out on bond. My bond probably like $100 and some thousand, you know what I mean? I go to the bondsman, end up giving the bondsman like $18,000 or something like that. He end up coming to get me or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm out fighting that joint, man. My dude pressing me for the paper, even though it was bullshit, and you'd have made me, goddammit. You know what I mean? Sure. Yeah, God, man. I'm gonna have to clear the stuff up with my dude, man, because I didn't pay him. You know what I mean? I ain't pay him at all. So I'm gonna have to make sure he know before I tell y'all this next piece that I still had all the shit. I just didn't pay you because you gave me that bullshit and caught me that case. So I had like 4 big ones, 4 or 5 big ones of my own that I wasn't paying nobody shit. So while I was out on bond shit, I was balling like a motherfucker. I was buying cars and properties like I wasn't going to jail. Man, when I finally went to jail, bro, I had talked myself into saying I was about to open a car lot, and it was hoopty heaven, and you know what I mean, I gave my people the money. He opened it. I had like 40 cars to put on the lot with him. Man, do you know my people's, like, when I got locked up, bro, my people had like a wholesale. You could buy a car from him for like $15, up to $100, no matter what kind of car it was. And all my cars was live, like live. You feel me? Rimmed up. And man, my people's played me to death. But man, I end up, man, staying solid, man. I get to court. I almost passed out, man, when they gave me 5 to 25 years at age 19, bro. I got babies, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on. That shit killed me, man, but that's where we gonna start it from here, y'all. Like I said, I'm here, y'all there, but we together. Get at me.